So what is this? This is like a piece of somebody's roof that blew off literally in our windstorm. What the heck is this? Nobody knows. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to or back to my channel. Today is May 4th, 2022, and today is going to be the first garden tour of the 2022 season. My goal this season is to do one of these every month so that I can look back and I can see the progress of my gardening from month to month. So it's been a pretty cold April here in Chicago, and I think I heard a statistic on the news the other day that we've had one sunny day in the last 30 days. So it has either been rainy or snowing or cold. So things in the garden are a little bit behind where they usually are, but I'll go ahead and swing around. I do have some things popping up, which is really exciting, and I'll talk about maybe just some plans that I have for the garden if that's all set up. But you're not going to see too much at this point as far as like in the grow stages, other than the stuff that I planted in the fall for a spring harvest. So with that being said, let's flip you around and I will show you what I've got going on. Okay, so this is an overview of my garden space. So this is the area behind our garage, and I really love gardening back here because this is sort of an odd space. It would just be wasted space if we didn't fill it with these garden beds. And so I think this is just a really great way to bring life to an area that would otherwise be utilized for either storage or frankly for nothing. This here is my rain barrel. As you can see, when we rebuilt our garage, they did not connect the downspout to it. So it's not as functional as it could be, but that's kind of a goal of mine this year, is to figure out how to get it to be more functional. But it does have a screen on the top and it collects rain and snow, so I do use that periodically. And then I've got my compost tumbler here. I'm gonna go ahead and peek inside. I think this side is ready to go. Yeah, so it looks like I've got a couple of eggshells in there, but for the most part, this is ready to go. This can come out and go into the garden, so that's really exciting. And then this side still has a little ways to go to break things down, but it is coming along. So I absolutely love composting in the city. It has unbelievably reduced our household waste. I'm a huge fan. Okay, so here in this bed, I've got my garlic. This is all hardneck garlic. I love growing hardneck garlic because then I can harvest the scapes. These are planted in the fall for a sort of mid-summer harvest. I will link my video above and below about planting garlic if you want to see sort of the process of planting that, but that's that. And then these 4 posts here are going to be used for my tomatoes. So I do what's called single stemming when it comes to tomato plants. I will be making a video about that. And then this is usually where I plant my herbs. This area in between the beds, sometimes I just put some plants. I had wanted to do an arch, but I do get in between those beds a lot to do garden maintenance and harvesting, so I don't think an arch is going to work there, but I have another plan for an arch that I will show you a little bit later video. But this is also garlic. I planted this with the sole intention of harvesting it as green garlic. So if you are not familiar with what green garlic is, I will be doing a whole video around that when it is time to harvest it. I will show you kind of what it looks like when it's harvested, talk a little bit about what it is and how to use it. And actually, I see this rogue one here. I can go ahead and pick this guy right now. Pretty sure this is a garlic. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. So a little sneak peek, but I'll do a whole video on that when those are ready to harvest. I would like these to get a little bit bigger, so probably we'll keep them in there another week or so. And then here I've got some radishes popping up, some lettuce, I have some bok choy. I also planted some beets, which looks like they're just in the process of popping up. And then along these 2 big trellises here, I have about 24 pea plants that are just taking their sweet time germinating. But I've got some popping up here. I planted these almost 3 weeks ago, and they are just now popping up. Can you see those? I don't even know. Yes, you can. So it's gonna be an interesting year for peas. Could get a ton, could get none. We'll have to kind of see how that goes. But this giant pot that is now housing my gnomes, I'm going to turn into kind of an onion pot. So I'm going to divide it into 3 sections. I'm going to be doing scallions and garlic chives and regular onion chives in there. I make an onion dried onion mix that I use on vegetables all winter long, so definitely want to dedicate a specific pot to that. And then down here I've got my daughter's fairy garden. She loves to play with this while I am out there in the garden. So we are looking to change this to a little bit more kind of a permanent fixture in our space, but that's her little fairy garden. And then I'm going to come around here. I have 4 of these hooks where I hang plants every year. So this, I don't know what's going to go in there. I don't have a plan for it yet. This was an experiment where I wanted to see if this mint would overwinter, and as you can see, it did not. So mint will be going in there, and then mint will go in this one. And then I have another hook up here, but I'm going to go ahead and show you right now my blueberries. So these, I have this one, and then I have this one here. And these are dwarf blueberry plants. They are Northern Sky variety. I didn't get too many berries off of them last year. They were still establishing themselves, but each one of these white flowers will turn into a blueberry. So it looks like I'm in for a really, really good harvest this year. So I'm really, really excited. This is our patio space, which is an absolute disaster because I have not been able to get my garden stuff out of here, but we'll have that set up in the next couple of weeks as well. And then these are some plants that I bought, just some herbs, mint. I think I have scallions there, I have mint, I have parsley, lettuce, and some kale. So those I don't typically start from seed just because of the space that I have indoors, but I will be getting those planted up in the next couple of weeks as well. And I'll go ahead and take you, this is like my absolute favorite wind chime. If you watch my videos, you will absolutely 1000% be hearing this in the background. It brings me a ton of joy. I love this little guy. Fun fact, I actually purchased that for my mother and then decided that I liked it so much I kept it for myself, and then the following year went back and purchased one for her. So she has one as well and she loves it. These are some of my seedlings that I am hardening off right now. I'm going to be doing a video about hardening off, and I also need to thin some of them because there's too many of them in each pot. So that video will be coming probably next week. This is an, what is this? This is Winter Savory, a little bit on the struggle bus, but I don't know. We'll see if he pops back or not. And then that is my oregano plant. I have dill, and then I have some flowers there for my daughter. Don't usually have all the pots just piled like this, but that's what we got right now. And then this is my strawberry bed. And I've got a little strawberry flower here, so I've got some berries starting to form, which is really exciting. I think I'm actually going to move these this year into some stackable planters that I got at the Dollar Tree. So we shall see. I don't know if I'm going to move the mother plants or if I'm just going to propagate the runners in there. Haven't decided yet. I'm a little behind as far as garden planning goes, but I've got a giant pot under the swing here. That is a raspberry cane that I picked up from a neighbor. She was giving them away as she was thinning out her yard, so no idea how to care for raspberries, no idea if this is even a great sized pot for it, but figured let's plant it up and we'll figure that all out and I'll repot if necessary. But I don't even know what kind of raspberry plant that is. I probably should email her and ask her. But anyway, I've got 2 giant planters here. No plans for that quite yet. And then this is my wine rack turned plant stand. Currently it is just being used for storage. These are all pots. These will all be housed with either herbs or some kind of plants. Not quite sure exactly what's going where. I still have to work on my plan for the garden this year, but this is my onion chive plant, and I love this plant. This plant has been in my life for about 10 years, and I just love him. He's phenomenal. He comes back every year. I don't do anything to him, and that's just it. He's great. Okay, so remember when I told you that we've had like 2 days of sun in the last 45 days? I just noticed this entire flower pot is full to the top with water. That's how much rain we've got in like the last month, which is just bananas. I'm gonna take you to the front of the house. I have a new garden bed up there. We used to have a giant tree in front of our house, and the roots were actually causing us a lot of plumbing problems, and because the tree was on the city's property line, the city's solution was to chop it down. It really hurt my heart because it was a really big, well-established tree, but there was just really nothing we could do about it because, again, it was not on our property line. So in its place, I planted a flower bed. Right now I have some tulips going on in there. I have some tulips popping up in there. I also have some crocus popping up in there, but I think the plan is to turn that into kind of a wildflower bed. Might put some marigolds up there, but I really want that to be a pollinator-friendly flower bed. These are my tulips. Starting to pop up here. Got more over here on this side. And then these are my crocus. I don't know anything about crocus, so I don't know if the plants are behind or if they don't flower the first year. I just really liked them when I saw them in the package, and so I bought them and put them in the ground. So anyway, that's the tulip bed. So that's where we're at right now. It's the start of the 2022 gardening season. The plan over the next month is to get the patio all cleaned up and to get our patio furniture set up and our grill set up. We're also going to be laying gravel down. I will be planting up all of my plants. So the next time you see one of these garden tours, all of the plants will be going in the garden. They will all be there and they will be kind of growing and a little bit more established. I will also have sort of a rhyme or reason to the pots. They won't just be like plopped around the yard the way that they are right now. And hopefully those front garden beds will look a little bit different. I don't know. Actually, the front garden beds, now that I'm thinking about it, might not have full plants in them the next time I see you, but hopefully those will look a little bit different as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here in the next couple of weeks for more gardening content, but if not, then next month for the June garden tour.